Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the High Ticket Coaching and Consultant Strategy and Growth Show. Now, if you're watching this interview anywhere else but within our private Facebook community called High Ticket Client Attraction Insider Circle, then definitely come check us out. We definitely love to have you. And that community was put together specifically for coaches, consultants, and service providers who are serious about getting up to that 6 and that 7 figure level. So if that's you, definitely come check us out. So as you know, my name is Exus Justin, and today I want to introduce you to another one of the members of our community, Heather. Welcome, Heather.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Awesome, you're welcome. So Heather, tell myself and the rest of our community, what is it that you do?
I am a posture coach. Yes, posture. I use the Alexander technique, yoga and Pilates, to work with my clients. And I work with people who are suffering from chronic pain due to poor postural habits. So people that are suffering from how they're using their bodies every day, whether they know it or not, how they're sitting, how they're standing, how they're walking, everything everybody does affects the rest of their body all the time. Our everyday movements kind of guide where we're going to end up. They're just a series of habits, and often we fall into bad habits. And I help people to become aware of what they're doing and then to show them how they can change it and then sustain it, because it's more than just saying, here, do this and then that. And then, you can't just snap your fingers and fix it yourself. If you could do that, people would do that already. So I help people to see what it is that they're doing that's causing them some pain and then is become a bad habit, and I help them to change it.
Awesome. Now, what's your backstory? What did you do before you got into this line of work?
So I was a dancer. I was a tap dancer, modern dancer, mostly actually a tap dancer. And then when I graduated from college, I started learning Pilates and then became trained to be a teacher because I was just interested in it. I wanted to work with my body in a way that wasn't necessarily dance anymore, but that was learning about it, teaching people, helping people. And then I had a knee injury and I didn't know what was going on, what was wrong with my knee. I went to doctors, I saw PTs. There wasn't any really good answer. It was just, oh, maybe there's some cartilage worn down. I don't know. Do PT. No one gave me anything. So I discovered the Alexander technique, which is the method that I teach. And right when I saw my teacher, she was able to see something in the way that I was standing, sitting, walking, all of these little habits that I had. She was able to see something that no one else was able to see. And through working with her for 6 months or so, my knee pain was gone. I learned about all these habits that I had within my own body that were causing my knee pain. So I decided, this is amazing, whatever this Alexander technique thing is, and I want to go to school to learn it. So then that's how I got into learning it, because it had helped me so much. So
hmm
that's kind of the process. It was, personally helped me, and I wanted to learn this and help other people.
Yeah, awesome. So you are a tap dancer. Or are you still? Are you still tap dancing?
Rarely tap dance, but yes, I was very into it and very good at it at one point. I don't know how I would be
Yeah.
now if I put on a pair of tap shoes.
Okay, got you. Because I'm not sure. Are you on TikTok? Do you ever browse that app?
I've been on it like that much. So yeah.
Yes, with tap dancing, there's this person. I thought it was you. It might be you. I'm not sure. But what happened was there was this person tap dancing, and they cut off the top, so you only see the feet.
Oh,
Their feet tap dancing, and everybody takes their body and like pretend
and they
like
put
they're
it
the
on.
tap dancers. Yes.
Okay, that's kind of cool. I'll have to go check
Right.
it out later.
Yes. I thought that was you. I thought that was your tap dancing
My,
skills, and everyone was like borrowing.
tap shoes have dust on them.
Yeah. So tell us, so you said, so what is the Alexander technique? What is it?
So it's a method of postural work, helping people to see what it is that they are doing with their bodies that might be causing them harm. But more of what it is a way of looking at the body and a way of approaching the body to help people get back to their natural alignment. So we all have curves in our body. We have all the curves in our spine. We need our curves. We want our curves, but they often get exaggerated and compressed. When people slouch down, they smush all their curves down, and that is causing compression, which then leads to things like herniated discs, lower back pain, a variety of issues that are pretty common back pain is the biggest issue that people face physically in our country. So the Alexander technique looks at it as the whole spine. So from here, I have a little skeleton with me.
Oh, nice,
Can
nice.
you see the skeleton?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, so basically it looks at the whole spine. So we talk about how to lengthen the whole upper spine up to the head and neck, get the length through the spine to decompress the spine. So it's a method that looks at that first, at looking at the head neck back relationship and making sure that that's in the place it's supposed to be, so that it takes compression off of the lower back, off of your hips, off of your knees, because any compression on your spine, just pushing down like this, pushes into all of the joints below it. So compression in your neck will push down on your mid back and into your lower back and into your hips and into your knees, all the way down to your feet. So with the Alexander technique, it really focuses on lengthening this space up here first to bring everything up with it.
Mm-hmm. How do you lengthen that space up there?
Well, I mean, it depends on the person, really, and what exactly their issue is. But there are a variety of things. Can I have everyone that's watching try something? Can we do that?
Yes,
Okay,
sure.
ready? You have to do it. You have to do it too. Okay, so try this. Take your hands, put them on the base of your spine. Okay, and then you're gonna put your thumbs in the front of your chin, like below your jaw. Yep, and give
Mm-hmm.
yourself a little length up. Kind of lift your, yeah. So it's different when I'm working with people because I can really give them that length. But when people are doing it on their own, because I've been doing Zoom sessions now with COVID, that's
Mm-hmm.
one thing I have people do, is to give themselves a little bit of that lift so that they can feel that length.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of give that little bit of lift there. And it depends on how much you need it, where you're coming from. Every spine is a little bit different, you know?
Yeah,
Can you
that's a
feel a
lot of
little bit
lift.
of length in there?
Is it supposed to be that much lift?
It depends on where you're coming from. So you look like you have pretty good posture. So for you, you're probably not going to feel it that much.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say someone's here. Okay, you see my spine there?
Mm-hmm.
You take your hands here, you give yourself that lift. It's going to create a lot more space through the upper spine, which takes some pressure off of the lower back.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's all more complicated than, these 2 minutes here, but that's one of the ideas.
Yeah, yeah. So once you do
Okay.
that, and once you feel it, is it like practicing holding yourself up that
Yes.
way?
So the muscles aren't used to changing and doing something different. So your muscles will work kind of like going to the gym. You have to slowly increase how much you can do it. So let's say someone's here and they lengthen themselves up. They could hold that for maybe 2 to 3 minutes without feeling like, oh my God, this is such hard work and I have to go back like this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's practice. And that's one thing I talk to people about. I'm very realistic about what I expect from people and what I ask people to do. Practice it for 3 minutes every couple of hours. Give yourself a little bit of practicing changing the habits, because your body won't be used to it. It will be tired. New muscles will be working, and then rest, and then just let yourself go into your habits, and then try again the next day and the next day, and keep going. Because eventually what happens is your body becomes familiar with sitting well. And then when you start to do this, you catch it faster. You go, oh, wait, that doesn't feel as good anymore. It'll
Right.
be this slow transition into, oh, okay, well, the old habit, this thing, doesn't feel that great. This is actually starting to feel better, and it starts to feel easier. And so slowly over time, it changes. One thing I hear from people is that, oh, I try to change my posture, but I just can't do it. And it's hard. And then I just say, forget it. And I think that's very normal, and that's part of the pattern, and that's part of what I address, because that is a natural thing to happen. You try something, it's not really working. I don't know if that's right. Forget it. So, it's a process. You just slowly keep at it, slowly keep building, expect there to be setbacks, expect that it'll take a little bit of slowly moving like this, just until you get there, until it feels more natural. And you have the muscle strength to hold it there. Because it's work. It is work. I'm not the quick fix person. I used to say that to people. I'm like your last resort person. I used to see people that would come from like a back surgeon's office. They didn't want to have surgery. What else could they possibly do? I'm like last resort person, because I require work. I require people to really change and think about it.
Right.
And everybody wants a quick fix if you can get it. I do too, but that's just not how a lot of change happens.
Yeah. Okay.
Snap my finger, change
Got
things.
you.
But
Got you. So what are your thoughts on sitting, right? So with being sitting throughout the day versus standing, does that help at all? What are your thoughts?
well, a few things. First of all, it is good to change your position around a little bit. So it's not that sitting all day is bad, it's how you sit all day. So chairs are all made very differently. There's not one chair that's better than another, but there are some ways to sit that are better than others. So one thing I always talk to people about is make sure you're sitting right on the bones underneath your spine. So like if you put your hands underneath your buttocks and you felt around, you'd feel these bones. That's the bottom of your spine. You want to sit directly on them. So if you are sitting here, all right, I'm going to take this with me. Okay. So if you're sitting and you roll back, then you're not on them and you can't lengthen up your spine.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be directly on the bones. So if you can ask everybody there, can you just move around in whatever chair you're in and feel underneath you? If you can get right on those bones, then you can lengthen up your spine. If you're rolled back, this is what happens. You fall back. That's how most people sit in the chair. They roll back.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't mean it's easy to stay right on those bones and sitting all the way up. You can do things like put pillows behind you, put support behind you, put something behind you that will give you a little support so that you can stay up there. Because like I said before, if I just said, okay, stop slumping and sit on your sit bones and lengthen up, you can't stay there for 6 hours, even 1 hour, unless you've practiced a bit. So that's okay. Put something behind you. Get a pillow, get something that has not a really soft pillow, but something, a couch cushion might work or something like that. That will give you a little bit of support that can hold you there so that you could lean into it a little bit and still be lengthened.
Yeah.
So sitting all day, if you don't have any support and you're trying to change those habits, probably won't work right away. That will be really hard. But if you can sit with that length with a little support behind you, then that could be good. But I do always think getting up and moving around is really good for you. So if somebody's sitting all day, get up, do a stretch, move around. I do think the standing desks can be really great because they do force you to be aware of your body. Also sitting on one of those, like the exercise balls that I know some people have, those can be really helpful too because it's really hard. It's not impossible, but it's harder to slump on an exercise ball.
Right.
Because you're kind of bouncing on it. You have to make sure that you're in the right spot. If you just fall back, you're going back with it.
Yeah.
So there are some things to play around with. You could even change your chair. Sit on the exercise ball for a half hour and then say, okay, I've had enough of that. Get in your chair with support. Just playing around with it might be the answer. And even just playing around with it, changing positions will not let your body get stuck in one thing. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's part of the problem. People get stuck in their one habit. So if you can at least move it around a little bit, let your body try some different things. That will be helpful.
Got you. Got you. Okay, cool. So I've also heard people say their lower back hurts when they sit. Why?
Yeah.
Why is that the case?
So if you are, this is Isaac, by the way.
What's up, Isaac? Okay, great meeting you.
Yay. So if you're sitting and you see how he's kind of rolling into his lower back there,
Right.
you're putting pressure on it. So this is how we want to be sitting. See, these are the bones I was talking about. Let me see if I can hold them up here. These are the bones. There. Woo. Okay, don't go anywhere, Isaac. Right underneath you, right here. These
Mm-hmm.
bones, you want to be sitting on those. If you roll behind them, that's when you slump.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's slumping. Now he's upright. All right, he's a little wobbly. But your lower back will hurt when you slump.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone out there, let's imagine everyone out there sitting, they're on their sit bones or lengthening up their spine, probably feels like work right now because their muscles aren't used to it. But if you slump down, you might be able to feel the difference. It takes your spine is here and then it pushes on it and it compresses it.
Mm-hmm.
Pushes everything down. So all the weight from your upper body is getting pushed down onto your lower back, onto your hips. And so that compression tightens the space between the discs and it weakens the whole area because you're not using it to sit. We actually you want to be using your core and your whole torso to be sitting. So the muscles get weak, and then they're compressed, and they'll start to hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So a big reason that lower backs will hurt when they're sitting is because we're just not sitting correctly.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good.
So it's
Now,
starting that process.
mm-hmm. Okay. And what about let me see. So what about standing wise? Is standing a good thing? What are your thoughts?
Yes. Well, it's that same thing where standing can be really good for you as long as you're doing that same thing where you're working on lengthening up your spine.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone try standing up. Try to do this thing where you put your hands back here and you give yourself that little lift and you lengthen up your spine, and let's see how lengthening up your spine helps. It's the same thing sitting and standing. It's like this is all just this dance. You want to find as much length and space in your spine as you can so that you're not compressing the spines. So
Okay.
it can be hard for people to stand for a long time because of how they're standing. So for someone that's in pain when they're standing, I would tell them maybe work on it sitting, because sitting is going to be easier than standing for a long time if you're not used to using those muscles and if you do have a lot of compression in the spine. So if somebody has lower back pain, I would probably say work on sitting first. Sit down, get on the sit bones, lengthen your so for someone that's struggling with lower back pain, I would recommend work on it sitting. Don't spend a lot of time standing yet until you feel like you're getting a little bit more of that length through your spine and you're getting stronger.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Now, what types of pain? So when someone would be the best fit for your services and be able to benefit most from what you do, what type of pain, I guess, where do they typically experience pain, and what type of pain typically is it?
I see a lot of lower back pain. And I also see a lot of neck pain and like excessive shoulder tension. That's what I see in almost everybody. And it makes sense because if we're not using the muscles correctly through your whole spine, other muscles end up compensating. So if let's pretend I'm sitting on a computer and I'm typing. Ideally, your arms are pretty free, your strength is coming from your core and your back and kind of through your sides here. But if I'm slumping, see my shoulders my back is just checked out and my shoulders end up doing all of it. So my arms are up here and my shoulders are just doing all this work. Whereas if I'm coming up here, this can soften a little bit, my shoulders can soften down, and my torso is now engaged. Here, my torso is not engaged. It's like checked out, gone. Here, it's engaged in doing something.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good.
So, yeah. It's
Okay.
some simple ideas. It's not easy to do because we're so used to doing things a certain way.
Mm-hmm. And what about how does working with you look? Do you work with your clients on Zoom?
So pre-COVID, I was only seeing people either one-on-one or doing workshops, classes, things like that. So COVID, for the first month and a half, I was doing some Zoom teaching with people that I was currently working with. And then as everything kept going, I realized, okay, well, I need to, did I lose you again?
No, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Oh, you're here. Okay. I realized, okay, I need to transform how I'm working a little bit because COVID's not going away. So I do teach some people in person now, people that are comfortable with it, possibly wearing masks, but I just started launching more of an online business and I'm working with people on Zoom this way. It's a little more difficult because I can't put my hands on them and say, this is where we want you to be. This is your length and spine, which is what I do a lot of. But I'm finding ways, we're getting creative about it to teach people on Zoom. There's always a way. So I've been doing that lately, I'm hoping to launch an online course in the next few months.
Mm-hmm.
So working on that, but right now I'm doing like postural assessments for people over Zoom and just doing a bunch of Zoom stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, cool stuff. So let's say if someone wanted to reach out and connect with you and just learn more, maybe they have some back pain or some neck pain or shoulder pain or something, and they wanted to reach out and connect with you, what's the best way for them to be able to do so?
So you have all my information there, I think, right, in the group. So my website is a great way. There's a contact form on my website. I'm on all the social media stuff. Those are all listed as well. Like, just messaging me through any of the social media. I'm on those all the time, so I will get all of those messages. So any of those really are fine. Everyone's connecting through different ways. Some people are much more comfortable with an email from a website. Some people are only direct messaging on Instagram, just kind of adapting to the worlds of social media.
Right. Okay, good. And guys, if you're watching this interview on the live or the replay, number one, leave us a comment below just so we know that you're here with us. And then
And
the
tell us
second,
if you tried this little lengthening exercise.
yes, definitely, definitely. So try not to exercise. Let us know what happened there. And with the links to connect with Heather to her website, social media, whatever, they will either be above or below the video. So you can click and get connected right to her. Do you have any free, you said you have any, do you have any free resources, guides, anything on there?
I'm creating some now. So I'm working on putting some things out there. I've been working on Instagram a lot in the last month or so, trying to get the online business working. So I have been sharing information on there. So if you go to my Instagram account, I'm sharing tips. I have some pictures and some ideas of things that people can do to help with this. So that's nice because it's such a visual thing and this is really visual work. So that's been helpful for people to have that.
Awesome, love it. Perfect, Heather. Well, hey, thank you so much for making the time to be here today and sharing some of what you do and giving a few free tips and things people could try to ultimately help them get rid of the pain they might be experiencing. Well, thanks again. Do you have any final thoughts before we end?
No, I'd love to hear if people want to give that a try. I know this isn't an easy, quick fix thing, but I just want people to know that you can change these postural habits. It doesn't happen overnight, but don't expect it to happen overnight, and just little steps every day and you can do it. I want people to know that because people think it should happen faster and it's okay if it doesn't.
Yeah, awesome. Love it. Well, hey, thanks again.